So as the title suggests, Bam Adebayo is doing everything for the Miami Heat right now. Bam has inserted himself as one of the best passing bigs in the league. I don't know exactly where he falls in that. I mean, Jokic is still number one. If we want to consider Giannis as a big, then he's number two. And then between that, you got Blake, Horford, Sabonis. But Bam is somewhere in that group, right? And Miami's just running a lot of real offense through him. They're giving him the ball on the top of the key. They have guys cutting to the basket. And Bam, he is a really awesome bounce passer. I mean, there are so many passes this season where he's just threading the needle with a guy who not a lot of dudes would see as open, but Bam just has this ability to hit the exact right spot to get it to a guy going to the basket. He has other moments. He's really good at bringing the ball up himself after a rebound, and he grabs quite a few rebounds, and from there he can make some passes. And also, even if it's not an assist, Bam just does so much for Miami's offense with handoff plays, and because he's so good as a ball handler, teams actually have to respect him when he has the ball up top. So you compare that to Whiteside, who had no playmaking at all for Miami, and also his effort would come and go, whereas it seems like with Bam, it's always something. You know, Bam, he takes very few plays off. I mean, I'm going to get to the defense soon, but offensively, like, he's also grabbing 2 offensive boards a game. He gets fouled a lot. He's shooting 6 free throws a game, so you just have to deal with Bam on pretty much every possession in some sort of way. And of course, there's all the rolling to the basket. I mean, he rolls, he can hit floaters. He's been really good on jump shots this season from like long 2-point range. He hasn't attempted that many, but it's something. And that combined with going off the dribble, setting screens, and all the passing, Miami's offense doesn't fall apart when he's in the game, which was what happened with Whiteside, right? I mean, Miami's offensive rating, it's technically better without Bam, but it's basically the same. It's like 106 with him, 107 without him, which is great. And the wild thing about it with Bam is I don't know what his ceiling really is. I mean, could he get to a point where you're running the entire offense through him, like some Jokic style? I think for that to happen, Bam would have to make some more strides as a shooter and as a post-up player. His post-up numbers have not been very good throughout his career. Now, they don't do it for him that often. He's only running about 1 post-up a game. Closer to 2. But it just hasn't gone very well. But I'd like to think it could. I mean, he does have some hook shots and things like that. He's not the tallest guy in the world. He's listed at 6'9" for a center. But he is decently strong and does have some craftiness, so I wouldn't put it past him to get better on his post-ups, but as of right now, it's not really there. And he doesn't shoot threes right now. Could get to that point, but he doesn't. So I don't know if we can ever really see him running the offense like a Jokic or even like a Siakam this season, but he's definitely going to be a big part of an offense, and I do think he can do more than what he's doing right now, which is basically 14 points, 10.5 rebounds, 4.5 assists. Whether that means like 16, 17 points and maybe like 5 to 6 assists, I don't know, but he can definitely be a high-impact player for Miami. I mean, he already is, so he can just do more of that. Now if we move on to the defense, I don't know if Bam has a huge weakness defensively. I don't know if he's ever going to be a huge shot blocker because he's like 2 inches shorter than you'd like him to be, but that doesn't mean you still can't have a defensive presence, and with how athletic and smart he is, he can just kind of do whatever you want, whether it's switch onto a perimeter guy or defend the rim or body up a dude who was on the low post. Bam just never really seems out of place defensively. Now, I don't know if he's going to get to Draymond's status of being great defending 1 through 5, but he could get there, honestly. I mean, look, he's 6'9" with a 7'1" wingspan. He's really athletic. I mean, if there was going to be a guy who could switch across all 5 positions, it would probably be something like Bam. His steals are up, his blocks are up. He has already pulled off at least a couple really athletic defensive plays that I've seen. So yeah, he is a modern-day defensive big, just someone who doesn't have a glaring weakness, and he could be... Like, is he in the running for Defensive Player of the Year? I don't know. I don't know if he's there just yet. I mean, how many games are we? We're 12 games in. I think we have to give it a little bit more time before we really start saying who are the candidates for that. But up to this point, I think he's not far away from being at least in like the all-defense discussion. Unfortunately, only 2 centers get to make it, even though center is the most important defensive position. Like, the all-defense position thing is stupid as hell. But unfortunately, it's the way it is. So maybe he gets there, maybe he doesn't, but he's definitely doing a lot of stuff defensively for this Miami team. I feel like I'm done with Bam. We can talk about Miami just in general for a little bit, because I don't think I've done a video just on them. I've been more focusing on players to open up this season. So, they're good. I mean, defensively they're awesome. This is a Spoelstra team where they actually have some go-to options on offense, finally, with Jimmy and Kendrick and Dragic, who's embracing the 6th-man role, and Hero, who can make shots, and it all just kind of works, you know, especially when you have Bam in the middle. I don't want to say specifically in the middle, because he has been doing a decent amount of switching onto, like, 4s and stuff. Like, Myers Leonard has defended centers more than you might think, with Bam defending some 4s, but they're just really versatile, and they don't do anything stupid, which is a huge thing with Spoelstra. Olynyk's 3s have started to go in a little bit more. The one thing that's maybe not been as great has been Winslow's shot making. I don't know. We'll see on that one. He also hasn't played much, so that's probably a big deal. I think with Miami, if there was anything they needed to add, because I was high on them going into this season, so I'm not shocked that they're 9-3 right now. So the question is, like, what do they need to add? Also, I want to give props to Duncan Robinson, because he has emerged as a bit of a role player god for this team, playing the 3, playing the 4, making 3s. So I do want to mention him. He's been really good for them. They've just gotten a lot of that, man. I mean, did anybody really see Duncan Robinson and Kendrick Nunn coming? I mean, I'm sure Miami did, but did any of us? Not really. So, I don't know. I mean, the roster is pretty good. I don't think there's like a massive black hole. But if we're talking about just improving the team, I guess it would be the transition from where Miami is right now, which is very good team, probably, to title contender. And that's either getting a big-time star in here, and I don't know who the pieces would be. I mean, you want to keep Bam, but if somebody, like, on that level was really available, then okay. I mean, I don't know. Like, is this a Giannis contender if we really get to that point? Potentially. I guess, there was Bradley Beal talk before he extended, so just whenever another one of those guys comes up, okay. But besides that, I don't know where the obvious improvement really comes from. I mean, I still don't really trust Myers Leonard long term, so maybe you could get a better version of him, whether that's just some stretch 4 or stretch 5. I also think Olynyk is gonna make shots a little bit more. I don't know. I really don't have an obvious, like, yes, they need this. So we'll see. They're good. Bam is good. Spo is putting in another quality season. And Miami's fun.